Hi everyone, today I would like to talk to you about the film Straight Outta Compton, a 2015 American biographical drama film directed by F. Gary Gray, depicting the rise and fall of the hip-hop group NWA and its members Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and DJ Yella. Compton, South Central Los Angeles, California. 1986. Eazy-E, Jason Mitchell, is in the middle of a drug deal that's going bad. Guns are pulled. Threats are made. The police appears and raids the block, and E barely makes it out of the house and escapes to freedom across the rooftops. Meanwhile, Dr. Dre, Corey Hawkins, is listening to records in his room. His mom, Lisa Renee Pitts, is mad that he missed a job interview. He says he has a job working as a DJ at a local club. She points out that making $50 a night isn't a real job. She wants the best for him. He says he does too. He moves out. His little brother T, Keith Powers, is sad to see him go. Elsewhere, Ice Cube, O'Shea Jackson Jr., is writing rhymes on the school bus. Other kids on the bus horse around by flashing gang signs at a car driving next to the bus. The car cuts them off and the guys inside board the bus and pull guns on the bus driver and all of the kids. They tell the kids they better start gang banging their books, or the Crenshaw Mafia might just get them. They gang members then leave the bus without physically harming any of the kids, get back into their car and drive away. Cube goes to the house where Dre is staying. He and Jinx, Cleveland McClendon, are making beats. Cube tells them what happened on the bus and lets them know that he wrote some new rhymes. As Cube goes to head back home, the LAPD stops him and violently searches him. Later at Dutu's club, Dre and DJ Yella, Neil Brown Jr., are spinning. The club owner's Lonzo, Corey Reynolds, tells them he doesn't want any rap shit on stage, but as soon as he steps out, Cube takes the mic and raps about his day. Lonzo hates it, but MC Ren, Aldous Hodge, and E are at the club and they like what they hear. Dre asks E to think about putting his money into the music. There's a fight in the parking lot after and the LAPD locks up Dre. E bails him out. Outside the police station, Dre tells E that if he can sling dope, he can sling records. Together, they form Ruthless Records. They invited a group from New York called HBO to record Boys in the Hood, one of the raps Cube wrote, but they hate it. It's suggested that Cube just record it, but he can't because he's already in a group with Jinx. So E does it. After much coaching from Dre, he's able to hit the beat. The rap song, Boys in the Hood, by Eazy-E and NWA becomes the #1 song for 6 weeks. Music manager Jerry Heller, Paul Giamatti, meets with E and tells him that he wants to make him legit and together they can build something big with their talent. Skateland, 1988. E tells the group he wants them all wearing black clothing because it's professional. Jerry has invited other record executives to the show to check it out. They all pass with the exception of Brian Turner, Tate Ellington, from Priority Records. Priority currently has the California Raisins on their roster. NWA thinks that's a joke until Turner points out that the Raisins went gold. Bobby Brown bodyguard Suge Knight, R. Marcos Taylor, is also at the show. He gives them props. The band records Straight Outta Compton at a recording studio in Torrance, California. During a break in the recording, the guys go outside and are harassed by the racist LAPD. Jerry witnesses police brutality firsthand. After the event, Cube writes, "Fuck the police." Jerry has given E his contract, but no one else has gotten theirs. Jerry says that's normal. The lawyers take forever. Meanwhile, Dre and his lady are sleeping with a baby at his aunt's house. NWA Tour, 1989. The Summit in Houston. The band plays inside the packed arena. Afterwards, Dre tells his brother over the phone that he can come out and meet up with them in Florida. 2 guys show up with guns to find their girl at a hotel party. NWA chase them out with guns of their own. Riverfront Coliseum in Ohio. Prior to the concert, the FBI issues a warning about playing "Fuck the Police." Jerry recommends putting the song on hold for a little while. E sees this as free publicity. Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Prior to the band's latest concert, the rest of NWA still doesn't have contracts. Cube mentions that to Dre, but Dre says he doesn't want Cube jumping to any conclusions that anything shady is going on. Dre gets a 911 page. His mom tells him that T was killed in a fight. Dre breaks down crying, and the rest of the group consoles him. He tells him that they will always stay brothers. They go back home to California so Dre can go to the funeral. He tells his mom this would have never happened if he had just let his brother come on the road like he wanted. His mom says that isn't true and that she's proud of Dre. Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Michigan. The Detroit police show up and tell them they can't play "Fuck the Police" due to the vulgar language of the song. Cube tells the crowd what's going on and they play it anyway. The crowd goes crazy. The police make their way to the stage. Gunshots are fired and everyone flees. In the ensuing riot, NWA is arrested. NWA holds a press conference. Cube says that their art reflects their reality. A reporter asks the band what a guy from Compton does when he starts making money like that. Everyone looks to E for an awkward moment. He answers, "Buy Raider gear." Jerry finally gives Cube a contract to sign and offers him a check for $75,000 once he signs it. Cube wants to get a lawyer to look it over because he knows something is wrong. Jerry doesn't want him to do that, so Cube walks away. He says he'd rather be broke than be fucked. Dre doesn't leave because we gotta do what we gotta do. He has his mom, a girl and a child to think about. Suge is there when the tour ends and announces that he's decided to get into managing talent. Priority Records 1990. Ice Cube is now with his wife Kim, Alexandra Shipp. They meet with Turner, who tells Cube that there isn't a lot of money in going solo, but if his first record is a hit, they'll make it up to him on the second. His first album is also a hit. Eazy-E Wet Wild Party. 6 months later, 1991. Jerry has E signing contracts. There's a whole Ruthless roster now. Jerry advises E that it's important to keep Dre happy. Suge tries to recruit Dre. Cube wants an advance for his second album, but Brian says it's complicated, so Cube smashes up his office. E is jealous of Cube's success. The Doc, Marlon Yates Jr., is in a car accident and his throat is crushed. Dre visits him at the hospital. Suge is there and points out that E and Jerry aren't. He makes another attempt at recruiting Dre and offers to have his people look at Dre's contract. Brian plays the newest NWA record, Real Niggas, for Cube, where they call him a Benedict Arnold. Cube answers it by dissing NWA and Jerry on his next album. He calls Jerry a Jew. Out of everyone, Jerry is most upset and wants to sue Cube for defamation of character and for being anti-Semitic. He tells E to take care of it. At a new music expo, people from Ruthless Records get into a fight with Cube's people, Lynch Mob. Meanwhile, the Rodney King beating is televised. A mysterious man shows up at Jerry's house one night and freaks him out. Dre tells E to get rid of Jerry, but E is loyal. Dre points out that they didn't make it because of Jerry but because their shit is dope. Dre reminds E that when T died, he promised him that they'd all stay brothers, and replies sadly, "I guess you forgot about that." Dre leaves to form his own company, Death Row, with Suge, who in a later scene, beats the shit out of E to get him to release Dre and Doc from their Ruthless contracts. Death Row starts signing new up-and-coming artists like Snoop Dogg. E tells Jerry that they have to kill Suge. Jerry says they fight with lawyers, not with guns. Dre and Snoop collaborate, but all is not well. Dre is put off by Suge's over-the-top violent nature. On April 29, 1992, the verdict in the Rodney King case comes down. The LAPD is found not guilty and the LA riots begin. 1 year later, 1993. E begins having money problems. Cube is reading the script for his role in the feature film, Friday. Dr. Dre's album, The Chronic, has sold 5 million copies. But despite the success of Dre's album, he finally decides to leave Suge. E sees Cube at a club and they patch things up and show respect to each other's careers. Cube agrees to do an NWA reunion as long as there's no Jerry. E is starting to cough. E's girl Tamika, Cara Patterson, looks over the contracts and tells him that Jerry took advantage of him and now he's broke. E meets with Jerry, who points out that he isn't looking too good. But eventually E fires him. Then he calls Dre and they patch things up as well too. They talk about collaborating again. Ren and Yella are ready to start recording a new NWA album. They're just waiting for Cube and Dre to show when he faints and is sent to the hospital. The doctor tells him that he's HIV positive and all they can do is try to keep him comfortable for up to 6 months. In late 1994, E goes public with the announcement that he's dying of AIDS. Another few months later, Dre visits him in the hospital when he's in a coma. Cube shows up, but doesn't go in the room because he doesn't want to see E like that. A few days later, on March 26, 1995, Eazy-E dies from AIDS at 31 years old. The film closes on a montage of the real-life surviving members of NWA and their careers up to the present. Ice Cube continues to make music and is a big-name movie star. Dre has become a hugely successful businessman. He makes Eminem a star and sells his Beats by Dre brand to Apple for $3 billion.